Well, this LSU-Ole Miss clash is all about bowl game positioning at this point of the season with what's happened to these two teams. Welcome to Wager Talk TV, everybody. I'm Scott Spreitzer. She's Kelly Stewart of KellyInVegas.com. My Wager Talk teammate, Brian Leonard. You all know Brian. We head to the SEC for this clash, of course, and Ole Miss opened 4.5 point favorite in this particular game. And, Rebels just 3-3 in the last 6, Brian. LSU's dropped 2 straight. So this is a different game than we would have gotten just a few weeks ago. The Rebel defense got shredded in their most recent game, if you watch that contest. But the Tigers' offense has been shut down in the last 2. Which of these two teams recovers and gets back, in your opinion, to the way they were playing maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, both teams got to be disappointed by this time. They thought this was going to be a huge game for them. I think Mississippi's still the better team here. LSU's just too young, and that's the problem they have. They got a young quarterback that makes mistakes. Obviously the running game is everything that LSU does, but Mississippi only allows 3.4 yards per carry, so there's a strength against strength there. But you've got a Mississippi team who I think is the better team. LSU on the season is outgaining opponents by 0.8 yards per carry. Mississippi 1.1, and the line says it's 4. I make it about 4 or 5. So I don't have a lot in this one, but I'm higher on Mississippi than LSU at this point. LSU, as I said, they're very young, and right now the kids are just starting to wear down a little bit. And I think Mississippi, if you're going to play the game, I would look at the Mississippi side.
Kelly, when I was breaking down LSU Alabama a couple of weeks ago, I won't go against Alabama's defense unless the opponent's offense is led by a quarterback who can move, who can get out of the pocket, and even call his own number 10, 12 times a game. And that's not LSU. So I went against him there. That was the main reason. I thought there's no way a run-oriented team that is basically what they do to make their bones is going to go up against this Alabama defense and do well for an entire 4 quarters. I like Leonard Fournette. I think it's crazy when you see a guy who's leading the way by leaps and bounds as far as the Heisman. All of a sudden his offensive line can't open any holes, and you never hear about the guy again. Leonard Fournette's the real deal. I saw what that Ole Miss defense did or didn't do against Arkansas, and I don't think they're going to pull it together in this particular game. I really don't see LSU, in all due respect, I don't see LSU losing their 3rd straight game. Your thoughts?
I don't really have a big opinion on this game. I will say that I do agree with you. Leonard Fournette is a stud. But I was on LSU in that Alabama game. We talked about earlier how many sides that you bet this year that you're just like, wow, what was I thinking? That was Kelly, what were you thinking back in LSU here? And that's just kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen again. Like Brian just mentioned, Ole Miss is really good at stopping the run. And if that's all LSU has to go off of, it kind of makes it a little iffy. Like you said, the line opened at 4.5. It's now down to 4. Somebody likes LSU with a little bit of money. I'm going to take a little bit closer look at it. A couple of trends. Series dog is 8-1 against the number. So there's another reason to maybe back LSU here. Personally, probably will stay off, but I got Brian over here pulling me one way. I got you pulling me the other way.
I'm actually interested in your handicapping of this game. Well, like I said, I'm probably not going to bet it, but I'm leaning that way. But
the way I looked at it is Ole Miss allowed 605 yards to Arkansas. Now everybody can go out and have that one bad game, and we keep notes throughout the season on each team and make little, asterisks by things that might jump out at us that we think, wow, this is a little bit unusual. Well, it starts to become usual for some of these teams, or the normal thing to do. So I look at the 605 yards they gave up to Arkansas, including about $163 on the ground, of course 442 and 6 touchdown passes through the air. They were also shredded for 500 yards by Memphis, was this Ole Miss defense. Then I looked back at the Alabama game because I knew they gave up a lot there. They gave up 500 yards to Alabama, about 130 to Derrick Henry. And I thought, this is 3 times over the last several weeks now that the Ole Miss defense has been shredded for 500 yards or more for the most part. So I'm not really buying at elite level competition that Ole Miss is as good of a defense. And they're very good. They're not an elite style defense for me. I don't believe they're as strong as their overall numbers are concerned. So that's why I'm making it official here, and I'm back in LSU plus the points in this one. Much bigger games going on, as Brian mentioned, as Kelly's mentioned, big college weekend at wagertalk.com for a lot of us. I love this portion of the season because you start getting those teams that are either dead teams or they're about to become dead teams. And we're releasing my college football game of the year for 2015. We started giving these out in 1991 on the old Stardust Line Show, back when I had hair, back when we weren't even on websites back then. There were no websites. It was just the Stardust line. And we started cashing right out of the blocks. We've got 18-6, 75% winners with our 24 college football games of the year. We've also had 4 straight 5% winners right here at wagertalk.com over the last 4 Saturdays. And those main events now, my top plays now 80% on the season in college football. Now the biggest play of them all, the 6% college football game of the year. It's a 200% guarantee. That's what it's backed by, which means you win or you get double credit back on this play. It's up right now. You don't want to miss it. It is my 2015 college football game of the year. Back to more college football analysis plus NFL. She's Kelly. He's Brian. I'm Scott. Stick around. More football to break down right here at wagertalk.com.